Well, as a former federal judge, I think that Chris is an outstanding person and that the community in Lake County is lucky to have him as a candidate, and I think he'd be a stellar candidate and a stellar state's attorney. Chris was an assistant state's attorney who tried many cases to jury trial. He had over hundreds of convictions when he was a state's attorney, and I think that experience that he had will help him perfectly to fit right in and become a good state's attorney. Chris also is broadened out as he went into private practice. Besides being an assistant state's attorney in criminal cases, he's focused on civil litigation. So he's a complete lawyer. I've talked with him about the law a lot, and he's a very fine lawyer, and it gives you the foundation for what you're doing, because being state's attorney is a legal position in a certain way. So Chris has more experience than his opponent on things that are really essential and give him a foundation to be a fine state's attorney. I think the fact that he has such eminent people, present company excluded, like Tom Sullivan and Scott Lazard, a former U.S. attorney speaking for him, is a great demonstrative evidence of the type of person he is that he can bring to the office. I've just observed him over all the years, and I'm just very impressed with him. I wouldn't do this. I'm a retired federal judge, and I wouldn't do this unless I really felt that Chris has that really extra something, the right stuff to be a fine state's attorney. He's got the wisdom, the maturity, the intelligence, the tenacity, the strength of character, and focus to be an outstanding state's attorney. I started my career as a Supreme Court law clerk for a former state's attorney in Cook County, Dan Ward, and I've gone through many state's attorneys, and I think I have a fairly good feel for what it takes, and I'm really very convinced that Chris would be an outstanding state's attorney and that Lake County would be very lucky to have him as a state's attorney.